All right. I am Grant from Screen Rant. How you doing today, O'Shea?
I'm good, man. I really like Screen Rant, so this is pretty cool.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I'm glad we got to set this up then, because
Yeah, it's
I'm
dope.
personally a big fan of you, so if so it works
All
out.
right, that works out.
Oh man. So I gotta say, The Now is such a fun show, but also such a really insightful one. What about it though really kind of drew you to it?
How crazy it was. It was just like, yo, this is nuts. To work with the Farrelly brothers at the time, they were coming off a Green Book, so I was, it was just like this. This can't be bad for their career. It's a pretty good look. And then at the table read, it kind of made me feel like, yo, this is going to be something special right here. Dave and Jimmy, those guys they're some of my best friends that I've made working on a project. And I love to be able to talk about something that might make people uncomfortable, but at the same time make people think. And with the Now, we talk about such a dark subject, but at our core, we do everything we can to uplift and give people a way out. And that's important. And when you could do that through art is the most inspiring thing that we have. So it's yeah, when you have something like this, you kind of have to jump on it.
So then, since you mentioned Dave and Jimmy, I mean, what was it like really building that rapport with those guys off camera before bringing it into every scene, since that's such a vital aspect of the show?
I'm a credit Dave a little bit. I'm gonna credit Dave for that because Dave was the one who, once we all got to Vancouver, he was like, "Yo, we should go out to dinner." And at the time, I'm like, I don't want to go out to dinner with guys from work. I'm not trying to do this, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a team player. Let me get up. And I had the time of my life with those guys. I could talk to those guys for days. And we went every week. Every week, where we going this week? Where we going tonight? And yeah, we built such a camaraderie that we were a real team before we heard the first pictures up, and that is something that I've never had. The closest thing would probably be Straight Outta Compton. And that was because, we were all so nervous to be in a movie that we just kind of like locked in. But with those guys, it was a real friendship. And to this day, we're in a group chat right now, and those are my guys. Other projects have taken us away, but we know we got to get back to each other because the squad is deep.
That's awesome, man. That's how you want it to be, right?
Yeah, man, for sure.
So you did also mention that the show delves into some really serious topics. So I'm curious for you, what were some of the biggest creative challenges really getting to the heart of your character as well as getting to the heart of those challenges?
I feel that I never choose a character that I don't have a connection to. And when it came to Coop was kind of the friend with the head on his shoulders. He's got the government job. He's the cop. He's the straight edge guy, and he was kind of the rock of the crew, for the shoulder to cry on. And it kind of hurt his feelings. It hurts his feelings that Ed is going through these things. And it went under the radar. He feels that he should have spotted those things, and he kind of judges himself a little bit for not being more aware. And that's something that I'm sure a lot of us have had happen to us before. We have so many things going on in our individual lives that we forget about the other individuals that are in our lives, and we forget to check on friends. We just think everybody's okay because they don't ask you for something. And it is such a brick wall to the face when one of our friends is going through a serious depression, in Ed's case, suicidal thoughts. And so it does break your heart. And I felt like that was so relatable. That's so humanizing that he goes through that. And at the same time, though he puts up this front, he's got things in his life that aren't under control. And so I just felt Coop was just so relatable, and his arc is so great. I can't wait for people to see it. And yeah, I love Coop as a character for sure.
Did you have any one scene in particular that you really loved filming, whether it was serious or funny?
All right, this is no, I can't talk about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a pretty funny scene where I pulled this girl over. We had a great day on set with that scene. I really like there's a scene where Jimmy Tatro is he has to go get some ice out this bar because things have gone awry. I don't know how much I can say or like what I can, let go of.
I've seen it
But
also. I know what you're talking about.
yeah, man, there's some limbs, there's some pieces missing off someone. So we gotta get it on ice. And Jimmy Tatro just does such a great job with that scene. That is by far my favorite scene is putting Dave on ice.
That was that's right up there with my favorites in the show too. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
So this also has an interesting thing for you in that this is technically your first TV show, and I mean it was done before Swagger was made. So I mean, what was that like for you making that jump from film to television for this one?
It felt it was weird because it felt like a movie. The way that we had shot it was at first to be episodic, but if we wanted to, we could form them all into a 2-hour movie. And so, with when you see the Farrelly brothers and you see their setup and their crew, there's nothing really different from from a big time movie. So it was a weird balance of like not a weird balance, but a blend of a little bit of both. And I like how fast paced it was. If it's one thing about my man Pete, he's going to get the shot and we're going to get out of there real quick. And as an actor, I love that. I love a director that knows what he wants. So yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. It was they had such a laxed environment for us. Everybody on the crew and cast got along with each other, and that's super important. Great morale makes great projects, and yeah, I had a good time. I had a great time.
So then with Pete wanting to get the shot done so fast, were you guys allotted the opportunity to improv at all, or was it just all on the page?
Oh no, Pete allows you to talk to him. He's so approachable, and he likes that collaborative effort because he knows he chose you for a reason. He chose you for what you can bring, what you got, and he would never want to hold that part of you back. It'd be purposeless. That if that was the case, you're just a face. You're just a puppet. So he understands that. He understands collaborating with his performers, and yeah, that's a dream.
That's always what you want to hear about showrunners and whatnot.
Yeah,
So I'm curious. I mean, this almost had that unfortunate fate with Quibi shutting down where we didn't know what was going to happen to it. What was that like for you when that word first came out about all that going on?
It sucked. I hated it. I was like, first of all, I was like, oh, this is a dope concept. This is a good idea. I like the thinking outside of the box of watching shows on the go. And then the pandemic happened and nobody's on the go. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's on buses. Nobody's on none of the walks. So it was we were it was just the perfect storm for things to go wrong. And so, for a while we were talking about, me, Jimmy, and Dave in our group chat of just like, yo, is the now the never? So we just started calling it the never. And then we were just waiting for something to happen with it because we know how much work we put in. And it was almost like it was just some summer camp we went to for a couple months. Like we had no idea of footage, no idea of if people liked it or anything like that. It was almost like a dream. And to have it finally be here, to be here this Friday, it's kind of insane. It's a great feeling. I'm excited to see it. Yeah, it's about time, and hopefully people really enjoy it, so we can keep the story going.
Do you think there's room for another season to bring back the show?
Bro, they've made sequels of things that I think didn't deserve sequels, so I'm sure they can think of something for the now.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that. So I'll hold out hope for you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.
So for my final question, I know you can't really give me too many details on your character, but I'm curious what it's been like for you to join the Star Wars universe with Obi-Wan.
Man, it's man, a dream come true. Ewan is so damn cool. And just on the onset of there, you as a nerd, you just can't believe it. Everything, every day I was excited to go to work. Every day I hated leaving work. Whenever just everything that I saw just made me feel like, little kid Shay back then watching the movies. Little did I know that if I'm just a little bit more patient, I'm gonna be up there. I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be right there with them. And it's just about staying patient. And Ewan is such a cool guy. I love that I got Obi-Wan's number in my phone, but I'm gonna call him Ewan. It's cool. I'm not gonna be weird about it. But yeah, it was a dream come true. Best job I ever had, and I cannot wait to just talk about it. I can't wait for Mickey to just give me the green light so I can speak freely. But yeah, I can't wait for people to see it. Can't wait for the trailer too.
I was about to say, so I mean, what is that like for you, have as a nerd, a Star Wars nerd, having to hold back on just letting loose on all the secrets? What's that like for you?
It's so hard. It's so hard because like anything that I'll read or like see on the internet, I just want to just be like, you don't even know. Like, you don't even know what's gonna go down. All these guesses and just people are going down the wrong rabbit hole. And it's funny to watch. It's funny to watch, but as soon as I get the green light, I might do a 2-hour special talking about everything I want to talk about.
There you go. That sounds like the way to do it, man. Just
Yeah,
finally let loose.
yeah, exactly.